Hello everyone, this is Nocturne, and welcome back to some more Minecraft. Certainly hope you're still enjoying the caving episodes. We got one more left coming up after this one today, but now that that's over, let's go ahead and get back to working on some of our awesome BuildCraft stuff. And, catch you up on a little bit of what's going on since, our last BuildCraft episode. Been a few days, so we've managed to get quite a bit of oil refining going on. How much, you ask? Well, just a bit. 90 buckets worth, oh yeah. That is going to be great for power production and actually getting these guys to do a little more than just the red power zone. And down here you can see that we finally dropped below the full tank, which says we finally, as evidenced by the empty enter tank, tapped our well dry. So we're gonna have to go and get more oil at some point, but before that we've got plenty more to still refine, at least another 2 tanks worth over here almost. Now in the meantime, while all this was going on, turns out these things use a lot more coal than I thought. They're completely empty now. Also a couple other details. I ended up went and looked it up afterwards. After recording the last BuildCraft episode, these guys will only produce 1 Minecraft joule per tick, and they will actually never explode now in the new version. I guess we can go ahead and turn that off. Don't need it. And so they're actually perfectly safe. The old Stirling engines did used to blow up if you didn't pay attention to them, so these guys will never overheat, so they're a decent, safe start for BuildCraft power. And since we are done with these, I'm going to go ahead and pop them. We can get our light back for one, which is nice. And we can even recover some of these pipes, which we're going to be needing here in a bit anyway. And I think that one went all the way up top, didn't it? It certainly did. Hey, out of the way. There we go. One thing to note, I ended up going through, I think, I'm going to say almost 3 stacks of coal coke on those two just to process those 90 buckets of fuel. So they are quite a coal hog if you want to do it that way, but fortunately we're going to be doing away with those here very soon. You can see here that I've actually got the pipe plan laid out here with the torches down here. Over here we're actually going to be going with something cool from thermal expansion to be storing all the extra power once we're actually able to do so. But to do that, we're going to need a few machines, and for that, we're actually going to need some of the thermal expansion machines to be making them. So, we've kind of got a bit ahead of us. I was actually thinking about this before recording today, and there's so much to do that it's like, man, I don't even know where to start. I'm so confused. I want to do this, and then I want to do over here, and then I want to do over here, and then we need more oil, and then we need more pipes, and then we need more fuel, and we need... It's like, holy crap! Mind overload! And there's also a few other cool little plans for things that I want to do in the basement over in the house. And it's just like, man, what do I start with first? I don't even know. But I think what we're going to do is at least go ahead and get our new engines set up and maybe just temporarily power the new thermal expansion machines until we can actually get what we need out of them. Also spent a little time off screen setting up some really simple red ally wire here up to that lever, because this cobble is where our new engines are going to go, and I just figured I'd set up some redstone to get them turned on easily. And of course using the RP2 covers right there, nice and handy. So like I said, first things first, we're going to need some of the new upgraded engines. We had the redstone engines and the Stirling engines. Well, now we are going to need the combustion engines. Technically, it's an internal combustion engine, except for the fact that the engine itself sits in the world, so would it really be an external combustion engine? I don't know. People who are far more versed in engines could probably tell me in the comments. So, for this, as you may have guessed, wood for redstone, cobble for Stirling, well... Going up the chain with gears, we're going to need iron for the combustion engines. And for that, we've got them there. And I'm only going to make 2. You did see the 4 cobble down there, but considering how things are right now, I don't want to go crazy, because I don't want to need that many pipes just yet. So, first off, we can... Yep, that's okay. I want another cover there. Didn't even think about that. Good thing I have extras. There we go. And let's see, we can actually go ahead and knock at least these two guys out, because that is where we're going to be placing down our engines. Lovely, the rain has started. Time to get rid of particles, because, you know, getting rid of particles makes the rain stop. Makes sense. It's Minecraft logic. And I'm just putting these down so that way they automatically face up. I wasn't sure where this one was going to point anyway, but... like usual, we need to move some things around. There we go, got that set up. And, I just realized I'm going to need to move that lever again, because I need to run the power pipes across the top here. Alright, well, I will move that in a second, but first, let's go ahead and start getting some fuel out of our tank and down over here. So first off, we are going to need a redstone engine. And of course, he won't move until you give him something useful to point at. So, there you go, point at that. Good job. And now we're going to get some waterproof pipes here. And I'm just going to run them like this along the wall. Again, the BuildCraft pipes are somewhat temporary because I really like the ones from Thermal Expansion better. They're a little more efficient and, well, they just look really cool too. And I'm going to use a new pipe here, because I never actually really kind of go into the details about why I jumped straight to the gold pipes for anything. Basically, they're the top tier, they have the highest capacity, and when it comes to item transport, they're actually the fastest. I can go into a little more detail later, but just know that with waterproof pipes, your options are, I believe, cobblestone pipes and gold pipes. And gold pipes, the liquid transfers through faster and has a higher capacity, so you get like more millibuckets per pipe length or something, per meter, I guess you could say. Now, there are some other pipes out there too that you could use, and they are the sandstone pipes. The sandstone pipes are actually really kind of handy. They don't really do anything special, except that when you place them down next to a machine, they don't touch the machine. They'll only connect to other pipes, which in this case is completely unnecessary, but I'm only doing it for aesthetics, really. Just because I don't want to see the pipes touch the engines twice, like so. Okay, so that will get us fuel coming into our engines. Now, the thing about combustion engines is that these guys can overheat, and these guys can indeed explode. Like the creepers I was talking about before. But if we go ahead and open up the UI, you'll note it's quite a bit different from the Starling engines, where here, I believe this is for like if you wanted to do input, you can go ahead and place like a bucket of water here, or the bucket of fuel or whatnot. You could do it manually, but since we have pipes, we don't need to worry about that. We have actually 2 tanks. What we need is one for fuel and one for water, because like I said, they'll overheat, so the water here is to cool it off. And it will actually burn through the water faster than it burns through the fuel. And just to remind me, I need to fix this. I'm going to go ahead and pop that. What we're going to need to do is make sure we've got a nice continuous supply of water coming in, so we don't have to worry about things going kaboom. And I went ahead and got a little started with that earlier, and set us up a aqueous accumulator down here with 2 sources on either side. You'll just have to take my word for it. See? Wasn't lying. So we've got an infinite supply of water here. We might need to expand this later, because I'm not sure how well the aqueous accumulator might be able to keep up with all 4 engines once we've got them going. So I might need to plop down another one, or maybe even create another Zycraft tank for the aqueous accumulator, and maybe even some of those Zycraft water blocks to pump into. And so that we can have just a big old store of water that we don't have to worry about this guy quickly running out. Because he seems to be doing okay now, but he's only filling up the 1 tank. see. Got a full tank of water here. I think that's probably 10 buckets worth. And I did actually run short one golden waterproof pipe, unfortunately. And I don't believe I have any extra I can grab off, so I'll have to go make a couple new ones here in a sec. Now, I am somewhat hesitant to turn them on right away. No, I won't steal that one. Just because I don't want to be potentially wasting the fuel. No, it's in glass. Because the fuel is pretty hard to come by. Oil spawns, while they do seem to provide a lot of oil, are actually pretty rare in the world. So when you come across them, you don't really want to just go ahead and waste the fuel if you don't have to. And by waste the fuel, I mean those engines are going to be burning fuel to create power, and if that power isn't being used somewhere, it'll either build up in the BuildCraft pipes, and bad things can happen in the future, which I'll get into later, one of the many reasons I want to switch to thermal expansion energy conduits. Or it just kind of goes off into a machine that's not doing any work and just gets wasted. But fortunately, like with industrial craft, thermal expansion has gone and added some BuildCraft energy storage devices, and while they are awesome, they do require quite a few machines to get. So let me go ahead and head down and finish hooking up our water supply. And we can actually try and start crafting up some of these new machines. I'm going to go ahead and put down all of them since we're going to need them eventually. And like I said, we'll figure out what to do with the water situation later. Because for the moment, I'm just going to be turning these things on as needed and then turning them right off. Let's see. Yeah, again, just filling the one machine, it seems to be doing it fine, but if all four of them are burning through their water supply and needing to be resupplied constantly, don't know. Like I said, combustion engines are new to me, but I look forward to figuring out how it all works. Alright, let's see. I also am not crazy about moving the lever all the way up here, but easy enough to work with. Just sneak this guy up here and up there. Put our cover back on. Lever here, and it'll just transfer the power right into that red alley wire I put on the bottom of it. And now I can actually go ahead and put down some of my golden power pipes. And these white marble blocks right here, I should say, are where I'm planning on ending up putting those power storage devices that thermal expansion added. So I think I'm going to go ahead and bring these guys down over this way. And this is where eventually we're going to be sending power up to some machines. But since we're not at that stage yet, I think what I'm going to do instead is break these guys, and for the moment we're going to put the machines here, so that way we can directly power them and have easy access to the lever. So that way, again, we're not wasting power. And let's see. I think I left all my levers upstairs. You know, all those that I crafted 2 episodes ago that I said were very important to have. Yeah, these right here. And of course, the fast way down is the funnest. Whee! And also, this whole pump system here too is temporary. It's fun having temporary things, but it is kind of a cool little, almost mad scientist basement laboratory. Mwahahaha. So we can go ahead and get a little bit of fuel pumping out of this guy. There we go. Ooh. Looks so nice when it almost fills the entire pipe. Look at that. Fuel. Yes. There it comes. Very nice. Okay, well, let's go ahead and let these 2 fill up and get to crafting some of the machines we're going to need. And for that, if you're following along, you're going to want to go over here and find, let's see, what was it? Factory, I believe? Yes, factory. And just shift-click, and you will actually end up narrowing your view to just those items, I should say. And what we're going to be wanting here is, I can just kind of show you, these are all the cool thermal expansion machines, because before thermal expansion, there were actually no real machines in BuildCraft, other than the engines, and the few things that BuildCraft added itself, like the miner and the pump, and a few other things. I'm not actually entirely certain. Like I said at the beginning of the series, I'm still somewhat new to mods myself. This is only my second mod world, after all. So, what we're going to want to make eventually is a pulverizer, but for the now, macerators in the main house work fine, and we've already got plenty of power there. But today we're going to want to make ourselves an induction smelter, a magma crucible, and a liquid transposer. Might do an ADS extruder one day, although I think there's still one in the basement now that I think about it. That's how I was doing my cobble gen. Showed you guys a number of episodes back when we were working on the Nexus. And the glacial precipitator is fun, but thanks to Zatch's prank, we're never going to need what it produces. Snow and ice, by the way. So, first off, let's go ahead and get ourselves the magma crucible. That's going to be the first one we need. And for that, we are going to need some nether brick, copper, a redstone reception coil, a machine frame, and a bucket. Reception coil is pretty easy, just gold and redstone, and the machine frame is also not too bad. And fortunately, back at the house, in the same project table we were working with to make all those overclockers, I went ahead and set up a few project plans to make some of the basics for thermal expansion, just because I knew we were going to be needing a lot of them. So, let's see. Induction smelter, machine frame, redstone reception coil. So, machine frame, we're going to need 1, 2, 3. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Just enough. I love it. And since the recipe is so simple, I didn't go ahead and make anything for it. So let's see. Do all of them need that? No, not the pulverizer. We'll get to that one later. Reception coil, reception coil, reception coil. Yes, excellent. So just the 3. And thanks to the magic of the project table, 3 reception coils. Awesome. Now, we are going to need... not that one. We're doing the pulverizer. Pulverizer. Getting all confused here already, man. Magma crucible. We are going to need nether brick. Gee, I hope I have enough of that. 2. And since we've been looking at it already, the induction smelter is going to need Invar. What the heck is Invar? I don't know. That's crazy stuff. But bucket for you, a bucket for you, and a bucket for you. So we're going to need 3 buckets. That's easy enough. No, nope, not 5 buckets, 3 buckets. There you go. 9. And also something I don't think I've ever mentioned before, but if you're wondering how I'm able to get just the 1 like that, if you're ever hovering over something in a window, just scroll your mouse wheel. It's kind of fun what happens. Whee! Of course, I'm completely screwing this up. But hey, it's for fun. Alright, 3 buckets. And we're going to need... Why do I keep clicking the pulverizer? What is up with me tonight? I must really, really want to make that pulverizer. Maybe I'll have to do it today. Alright, anyway, Invar. Invar is a new material. It's, if you see actually here... Let's see, what's the button? I think... Shift. You can actually go ahead and stop it from switching back and forth like that. So and you can actually see here, and this is actually the GregTech version of Invar. It looks like it's a combination, if you guys remember your high school chemistry, iron and nickel. So it's an alloy. And just like you would think for an alloy, you're actually going to need 2 different kinds of material. Not you. To make it. Invar dust. How do we get Invar dust? Well, we could pulverize Invar ingots. Thank you, NEI, that is awesomely helpful. In no way whatsoever. Oh, but it's fine. We can actually go here and find the easy, nice, fun way to do it, and what we need is just simply some iron dust and some nickel or pulverized ferrous metal. You know, that really kind of fun, cool stuff we've been finding in the ground everywhere. This one, ferrous ore. Actually added by thermal expansion, which is good that they would take the time to remember to add the thing that we would need for their very mod. And I took some time off screen and ground us up some iron dust and some nickel, which is Greg Tech's name for ferrous or dust, because he's just got to be different like that. And like we saw, very simply, some iron, and some nickel, and we get 3 stacks. Awesome. So I'm going to spend a little time off screen here smelting all this up, and I'll actually go ahead and get together the rest of the ingredients we're going to need for these other machines, because I've already scatterbrained enough. You guys are probably already yelling at your screen, so I shall see you guys in a few once we've got some ingots and supplies, and meet you back in the basement of the BuildCraft house. See you soon. Okay, Invar smelted, and we are ready to go. Got my stuff together. Some of you may have been asking, why did I go ahead and make 3 stacks of Invar? Nocturne, you're never going to need that much. Well, you might be right, but you know, it never really hurts to have a little bit of extra. I like to have extra around, just in case. That way I don't have to go and make it again. Also, while we were working, the pipes filled all the way up, and they just look awesome. I love the color of fuel in this particular texture pack. It's so sparkly and pretty. Look at that. It's so cool. I love it. Yeah. It's almost mesmerizing, really. Just kind of... But enough of that. We are getting kind of close to the end of today's episode, so let's not goof around too much. Alright, so what we're going to make first is... If I can stop clicking the wrong button, the induction smelter. So we're going to need the Invar, the copper, the reception coil, and the bucket. Alright. So, Invar. Copper. And actually, since we're going to be making a bunch, I'm just going to leave those all there, and all those all there, and those all there, and those all there. Actually, I don't need that many. I forgot to bring the flint with me. For a second, I was actually going to go ahead and make the pulverizer since it's been jumping out at me the whole time. So we have ourselves an induction smelter. Awesome. This is very much similar to the furnaces, the electric furnaces that we're using for industrial craft, except it's got a little bit of a bonus feature I'll go into in a little bit. We're also definitely going to want the magma crucible, and, right, glass, the liquid transposer. Magma crucible is an awesome way to make lava, really. Stick netherrack or cobblestone in it, and it melts it down into lava for you. So you don't even need to go to the nether or find a volcano or whatever you're looking for at that time in the world. Liquid transposer, very much like it says, it will transpose liquids from its internal tank to various objects, like some of the things we're going to be making, as well as other forms of liquid storage, like, well, their portable tank for one. Actually, I don't know if you can stick the tank in the machine, but you can do it with cans and cells and all that kind of stuff from industrial craft and BuildCraft and forestry. So first things first, I'm going to want to get my magma crucible and my liquid transposer. And the induction smelter we're definitely going to want here in a bit, so let's actually go and set him down after all. I'm going to go ahead and disable this guy's configurations down here. Nope, we're not going to be doing any of that. Don't really care about automating input at the moment, or output. Actually, just turn them all off for the moment. I don't really plan on doing anything fancy with him. Things can just build up all by itself. And actually, since we don't need him at the moment, I really don't want to connect power, but we'll place him down and configure him. So, what do we need the magma crucible and a liquid transposer for? Well, it's quite simple, really. We are going to be making the upgrades to our pipes. Yes, it's finally time. 20-something minutes into the episode. That is what we've made these machines for. Unfortunately, it struck me as I was just going to say the word pipes that I do actually need the induction smelter first because, well, let me show you. First things first, we're going to be making the redstone energy conduits. These things are awesome. Now you'll notice the liquid transporter here is for filling an empty conduit into a redstone energy conduit. And what are we filling it with? Molten redstone. That's where the magma crucible comes in. We're actually going to be melting redstone down into a liquid form and filling up these empty conduits. And for these, we're going to need some electrum, which is another alloy, as you can see here, gold and silver. And we're also going to need some hardened glass. This is unfortunately what we need the induction smelter for. And it's not too bad. Unfortunately, it requires the one resource that is most rare on the server at the moment. Lead. And it also requires pulverized obsidian, but that's easy enough to do. It's just obsidian in a macerator, and you get the dust. And then, of course, lead ingots. And here we go, hardened glass. So let's see, how much of this do I even have? Lead. Wow, I didn't smelt any of it. I have 13 lead. Awesome. Kind of wish I'd remembered to do this beforehand, but that's okay. There's practically nothing here. This will only take a few seconds. And while we do that, I can go ahead and gather up some... Technically the caving's not done yet, so I don't really want to show you the contents of this chest yet, so... One second. Okay, all better. Got some redstone. Again, we may not need this much redstone, but it always never hurts to have that much. So we got some lead dust finally, cooking up, and go ahead and finish. There we go. Just had to think of something else we're going to want to automate one day too, because it is a little annoying having to come up to these machines and do them all manually every time. But, hey, they're nice and fast, so it's not too bad. And, because you guys may have noticed the pattern with me so far, but if you can do one thing, why not make two for twice the cost, right? That tends to be how I do my Minecrafting, so we're going to go ahead and actually use up nearly all of this to make our hardened glass. And I believe... Where'd I leave you? I actually may have left him over here, because I knew I was going to be needing it. I did indeed. Excellent. Obsidian dust. So let's see. What we may want to do instead...
User entered your channel.
Hey, Ninja.
What's up?
Doing a little recording. How are you?
I am very good.
Nice. Mr. Ninja has been missing for like a week and a half. We thought he was dead for a second, so it's nice to hear his voice again.
Yes, I'm not dead.
Oh, good, you're not dead. That's the best news I've heard all week.
It is a very good thing to know.
Indeed. I am actually using up my entire reserve of lead. All 13 ore.
I was gonna say, like, what, all 5?
Yeah. I think somebody gave me a few. I think Eco gave me a few from the Mistcraft world he wasn't supposed to be in. Shh. And from the very few we got from our little caving adventure that the folks at home are still watching. They just got finished watching episode 2 last time. Alright, so we can finally turn on our engines. Oh, come now. You're telling me the redstone won't pass through the wall? Really? After all that work? Lame. Alright. Stupid covers. Blocking my redstone. I may have to actually go and swap those up to the jacketed redstone, which is okay. Alright, now these guys actually output quite a decent amount of energy. I believe at max power, I want to say these guys can do like 5 Minecraft joules per tick, which is awesome. And you can actually see it all running across in this really cool little energy line through the pipes. You can actually tell how much energy is going through the pipes because the beam actually widens, like you can see right there. A really awesome detail they recently added, probably in the last 6 months or so. And you can actually see our induction furnace is all powered up, and we are indeed finally getting some hardened glass. Yes! And I actually moved the pipe up here just because I wanted to make sure all the power went here. Oh, wow, he filled up nice and fast. I guess we can bring this guy down now. And one thing to mention when it comes to BuildCraft, you do not ever want loops in your pipes. It's bad. The power can actually go in a circle, and a circle, and a circle, and a circle. And like I said, these little lasers here, these little cool little beams, do get wider the more power there is in them. the beams can actually get to be the exact same size as the pipe. If they try to get any bigger, well, that too, Ninja, that too. The pipes explode, which is also a recent change with BuildCraft. Not my favorite one, but one that I'm willing to live with because we have the redstone energy conduits, which don't explode. Yay! Which is why the BuildCraft pipes are now temporary to me. So I think first off, I need to also configure this guy, and this will probably be the last thing we're going to get done today. Unfortunately, we are getting really, really close to the end. I'm just going to set the output over into the magma crucible and make sure input is set. I'm also going to go ahead and turn off all those things just to make sure we've got out, in. And we're going to go ahead and melting down our redstone into the liquid molten redstone. And like I explained to you guys at the end of one of the previous episodes when I was talking about the liquid transposer, these machines auto-eject, so we don't need to do the whole redstone engine wooden pipe thing, which is really freaking sweet. Another reason to love thermal expansion. So all the molten redstone's not going into the internal tank here, it's going directly into the internal tank of the liquid transposer itself. And so once we have enough hardened glass, ooh, very nice. That's a lot of hardened glass. That's going to go real far. We can finally start working on figuring out how to make electrum. But like I said, it's just gold and silver. But I think, let me check the time real quick, and yep, we are definitely going to have to leave that till next time. This has been about half an hour. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was a little all over the place, but like I said, what we're working on right now is very much all over the place. So I really hope you guys enjoyed. We're still really only kind of getting started, although we've got the beginnings of some of our really cool thermal expansion machines. I may actually go ahead and at least get some of the electrum dust prepared for you guys off screen in between this episode and the next. And I'll come back and we will get started making some of our new redstone energy conduits. And we might look into upgrading to the thermal expansion liquiducts, which are the waterproof pipes of that mod. But I think for now, I really like the way these guys look, and there's a machine I want to place right here in the future that really kind of makes having the BuildCraft liquid pipes at least very much worth having. So this has been Nocturne. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys again next time.